Hey guys, are you ready for some football? In other football news, just like we do every year, there's a bunch of coaches that are being hired and coaches that are being fired. So let's talk about that coaching carousel just a little bit. So first off, let's talk about Bill Belichick. And let's just say right from the very beginning, he is one of the greatest coaches of all time. While he is one of the greatest coaches of all time, what has been going on with the Patriots these last few years? Nothing. They've done nothing, totally underachieved, and as a result, even the legendary Bill Belichick got fired. What's interesting now is he's having trouble finding another team to coach. So what should Bill Belichick do? I've got an interesting take on it, which I haven't heard anyone really speak of just yet. Let's talk about it. So although Bill Belichick did not technically get fired, there was no way in the world that the Patriots were going to let him coach another season. So what does that really tell you? So although the decision was amicable and they both agreed, he had no choice. It's like either, hey, Bill, you better leave or we're going to fire you. Was Bill Belichick a great coach, or was he the great coach he was because of the great Tom Brady? And I don't know the answer to that. Because as soon as Tom Brady left, what happened? Well, the Patriots went to pot. And although Belichick said that Tom Brady was done, what did he do? He moved to Tampa Bay the next year and won the doggone Super Bowl. So the jury's still out on it. While I do think he's a great coach, I'm not sure he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. So what's going on now with Bill Belichick? I find it really interesting to see that he's interviewed now twice with the Atlanta Falcons. And, you know, you'd think someone of his stature, with all the success that he's had, would have people lined up to say, hey, come on in, we'll give you everything under the sun. But they can't do that with Bill. Why? He's 71 years old. And Bill doesn't come by himself. Bill wants a lot of control, which means he doesn't want to be just the head coach, but he wants to be the general manager. Which means if you've built up this good system with good people, he's going to want to get rid of all those people and bring in his. And do you want all those people who came from the Patriots, who haven't done crap these last few years, into your system? I don't know about that. So that's the big problem that he has. He wants too much control, and he's too close to the end of his career. So do you know what I think he should do? Let me tell you. If you're asking me, Bill Belichick should take a step down and go back and coach in college, the NCAA. And why should he do this? Because there's an opening at the University of Michigan with his name right on it. They would be happy to bring him in, to give him everything that he wants. They've got a stout caliber team, and he can immediately take them to the promised land one more time. Then when you figure into the fact that Tom Brady used to be the quarterback of the Michigan Wolverines, you've got that whole mystique surrounding the situation. So let's just carry this ridiculous story all the way out. So what if Bill Belichick went to go coach there? And we know that Tom Brady, he only played for 3 years and then went to the NFL and did what he did at the NFL. What if he came back and somehow got some kind of exemption to go play his last and final year under Bill Belichick for the Wolverines? What would happen then? Wow, wouldn't that be interesting? We know it'll never happen, but what if? So what if Bill Belichick came back to coach and then Tom Brady was his assistant coach? Those two guys back together at Tom Brady's alma mater? What might happen? People would love to see that, me included. Speaking of Michigan, so we know that Jim Harbaugh just finished winning his title with the Michigan Wolverines. Jim Harbaugh has brought them a national championship, which is unbelievable, which is fantastic, and that's great. But that Jim does what Jim does. After he's won, it's time for him to move on. And so now he's moved on to the NFL, and he's already found his home with the Chargers. And everyone's so excited about what he's going to do. But I gotta tell you, I still have major questions about Jim coaching at the NFL level. Because go back and look at his history. He really has not done that well, and he's not really won consistently at that level. While they've given him everything and they've backed up the Brinks truck to pay him and secure his services, he's a great motivator, and I'm sure he's a great coach to play for. He hasn't got the results at the NFL level. Very interesting that the 49ers are back playing for the Super Bowl, and Jim, who used to coach them, is now back in the NFL. It's in the sunny state of California, down the street in San Diego. So this should be really interesting with the Chargers, right? Because they've got the quarterback, they've got a good team, they're well coached, they play in a fantastic stadium. So this should be interesting. Can Jim bring it home and finally win a Super Bowl? Do you think that he can? You think he's gonna have success? Me personally, I don't think he's gonna do it. He's a great coach, excellent results. He cannot win the Super Bowl. He just can't. His brother can. His brother will, he can't. Speaking of the Super Bowl, it is coming up soon. 49ers versus the Chiefs. This is going to be another interesting matchup. Are you guys excited about the matchup this weekend in the Super Bowl with the 49ers versus the Chiefs? I definitely am. While I was kind of rooting to see Lamar Jackson and Detroit, the two underdogs, make it just for something different, this is going to be a good matchup also. This is going to be a very interesting rematch because if anyone remembers back in October, the Chiefs beat the Cowboy shit out of the 49ers. The score doesn't really reflect it, but they beat them backwards and forwards. Offense and defense, they wiped the floor with the 49ers. And I'm interested to see whether or not they are going to right the ship this time, or are the Chiefs going to keep running roughshod over the 49ers. So not only is this a rematch of what happened in October, hopefully the 49ers are going to fix that, but this is a rematch from the Super Bowl appearance from 2020 when the Chiefs had their number yet again. So are the 49ers finally going to right the ship, or are the Chiefs going to continue to run roughshod over the 49ers? What do you think? You know, this is going to be an interesting matchup. And I think it's going to be a good game. 49ers are loaded. They've got McCaffrey, obviously a game changer. They've got a good defense and a solid offense. But look what happens when pen comes to paper. When it's really time to get down and dirty, what happens? The Detroit Lions almost beat them. They had them down by 17 points. And but for a bunch of juggling and mishaps and questionable calls on Detroit's side, the 49ers would not even be in the Super Bowl. And they have to go up against who? The Kansas City Chiefs, who have been in the Super Bowl 4 out of 5 years. 4 out of 5 years. We're talking about a team that you can almost consider to be one of a dynasty. Almost. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting close. They're coached by Reed. I love Andy Reid. He's fantastic. They've got Kelsey. They got a good offense. Don't like the receivers too much. Defense, good, solid. But what's the one piece that you can't account for? That you try as best you can? Patrick Mahomes, come on. Number 15, he's unbelievable. This guy is fantastic. And he never chokes. He almost never chokes, and I love the kid. He's a Texas boy down at Texas Tech. He should have moved to A&M, but we're not gonna hold that against him. Oh, sorry, yeah, we got a Raider in the house right here. Oh. Anyway, this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a classic. But I believe at the end of the day, the Chiefs are going to take care of business. You know, the next question we're going to be hearing soon, right? And it's going to be predicated potentially on Patrick's performance in this Super Bowl. Is he the GOAT? Is he becoming the GOAT? And he is not the GOAT yet. Let's not make any guesses about that. He's not the GOAT yet. But we are seeing the man next in line to become the greatest of all time. And that very well could be Patrick Mahomes. He's doing it very consistently. He's doing it at an earlier level. He's got the poise. And I think at the end of the day, we're going to see this guy as the greatest ever. Kelsey, hey, people are talking about him retiring. He's not going to go down without another Super Bowl, especially playing in front of his girlfriend up there.
And the most impressive thing is Mahomes.
Everyone for some reason is saying that Kansas City are the villains now. When did being good characters, being good citizens, being people that care about their sport and people in their communities, when did that become villainous? I don't know how that happened, but that's what's occurred in our country. It is what it is. I'm supporting the Chiefs. I like the 49ers, and I'm going to be entertained any way that it goes. But this should be really interesting. What do you think? Who are you predicting to win this game? And tell me why. Give us a comment. Let us know what's going on. What am I missing? Tell me in my analysis where I'm wrong. I want to hear from you. Give us a comment.